Alrighty, so we got General Leang versus General Alexander, but we can't build any units. So we're not building anything from the command center, supply center, barracks, war factory, or airfield. Supply trucks that spawn from newly constructed supply centers are okay, and rangers that spawn from destroyed US buildings are okay too. Rocket troopers that spawn from tunnel networks, they're good too. And I think that's about everything. Alrighty, so starting off with the power plant, of course. Now, I'm going to go for the standard supply center bait for the A-10 strike that's about to happen. So, when Alexander's hold the line gets triggered at the 1 minute 20 second mark, that's when you can cancel the scaffolds. I didn't go for the particle cannon bait out like I did with, I think it was Nuke General. So yeah, if you do a few Gatling cannon scaffolds next to the particle cannon off to the right, it is possible for the A-10s to attack her own particle cannon and destroy it on the second go round with those A-10s. So a little bit of a tip there if you want to, explore that. And right now going for barracks too, because I want to go for bunkers and other base defenses. So with General Leang, you actually need the barracks to get the base defenses. So with base defenses, we're going to probably go mainly for Gatling cannons, but bunkers will also be helpful here because you could use those to bait out some of those Aurora bombers that fly into our base. And it'd be better to take a $400 loss than a $1,200 loss to those bombers too. So I'm just going to go for double Gatling cannon in front of the command center. So going so close to the command center means that the command center will take up some of those hits from the Aurora bombers, so that is planned. I do intend on losing my command center. I think that it's going to be okay to just build another command center later on. Once we have the general powers, then we can actually make good use of a command center, but for now we'll just use it like a meat shield. Going for tunnel networks, so tunnel networks are also a good alternative to bunkers as well, because they build up so quickly, and the thing is they're going to turn into a GLA hole, so if they're attacked on a certain angle, they might just stay at a GLA hole and then rebuild. So I did lose one of my gats here. I knew that was going to be a possibility because when the Aurora bomber attacks, sometimes it'll hit the command center acting as the meat shield like I mentioned earlier. Other times it'll actually get a good angle and destroy the base defense that it's actually targeting. Now right now I'm building more tunnel networks off to the far left side of my base, and reason for that is because General Alexander does like to sneak in a few Chinooks into our base from 3 different points. So this left section, that's one point. Another point is a little bit south of the barracks that I've built, and the other point is about northwest of my supply area. So I've gone for 3 tunnels. So with 3 tunnels, that does mean that I'm letting Alexander drop off the units, and then I'm just going to let the tunnel networks do the work by picking off all of those units that touch down. Now I did go for a couple of bunker scaffolds here, so that's going to be acting as bait for Alexander's Aurora bombers, and I'm going to use my dozer to repair the command center. That way I can use it more as a meat shield going forward. But also another thing, with those bunker scaffolds that I've built, it's another way of trying to protect my dozer from getting hit by Alexander's Comanches and bombers, because that's my one and only dozer. If I lose that, then I've pretty much lost the game. Now there are cases where, like for example, when I did Infantry General Fay versus Alexander, I did lose my dozer, but I was I was too much established. Like, I established everything I needed, so I had all my general powers, and I could just rely solely on minigunners and carpet bombs and artillery strikes to get the job done. So you can lose the dozer, but you gotta lose it a little bit later on in the game. So at this point we lost our barracks to the particle cannon, and we're going to cancel these scaffolds, so they were going to act as the bait for the A-10 strike. So the A-10 strike will occur right after the particle cannons have finished. So you've got basically until the particle beam fades away to actually set up your bait for that A10 strike. Now I do need to rebuild my barracks here so then I can set up more defense. That's the downside with Leang compared to other Chinese generals. You need that barracks in order to build up your GATs and then try and pick off those Comanches and Aurora bombers when they try and attack you. So I've gone for barracks a little bit south of the resource pile and going for more GATs, just trying to pick an area where I'm more likely to be able to finish constructing the Gatling cannons, and then I can reinforce my defense but also keep my dozers safe. Now I did go for radar upgrade from my command center, so I was able to actually keep my command center in play. Normally I end up losing my command center after the first, big attack of Aurora bombers and Comanches, so that does save me a little bit of time and money here. And I do also need to try and keep that command center in play as much as I can, so then I can keep the map and keep an eye on everything. So right now with my dozer, I'm building up another Gatling cannon to reinforce my defense here. I'm also hovering over the tunnel network, so then I can retreat inside the tunnel network with my dozer in case I see any purple spots on the map. So that didn't happen in this case, so I'm going to get my dozer to build up a power plant. So a couple of reasons why I want power plants right now. First reason, I'm in the Yellowwood power, so I do need to get more power plants in order to build up more base defenses to reinforce my defense. The other reason is that I need to get the oil derricks in order to actually get some money here. So I've got 5 grand, but I do need to get more money here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to build up more power plants, and then I'm going to use my base defenses to destroy the power plants. Now I said at the start here that ranges that spawn from destroyed US buildings are allowed, so this is fine. So once I get those ranges, I can capture the oil derricks and then I can get even more money. So I wish I'd done this sooner so then I could get the benefits of the oil derricks sooner as well, but I mean, like I said, we're not doing too bad money wise, but we could have been doing a lot better. So I did get attacked by the Comanches here, so I did take those guys out. I did lose my bunker scaffolds here, and I'm making moves on my power plant as well, so I'll be able to capture the oil derricks and make back the money that I lost. Now I'm going to set up a few scaffolds here, so I've got some Gatling cannon scaffolds, a power plant scaffold and a barrack scaffold. So since it's 2 particle cannons, I need a barrack scaffold and a power plant scaffold to bait those out. Now my rocket troops, I wish I'd put my group of 4 rocket troops with the group of 2 rocket troops. That would have served as better anti-air as well. Yeah, I wish I'd done that. But in any case, I was able to fend off those 2 Comanches with little losses. Now with the Gatling cannon scaffolds, I'll cancel those out, so that's going to be my bait for the A10 strike. And I had my dozer next to the Gatling cannon scaffolds to increase the value of that area, making the A10s more likely to hit that spot as well. So once again, we were able to get through all of that with very minimal losses. I think it was just the 2 bunker scaffolds that we lost, which was only $800 worth of stuff. So yeah, I think we did a good job here. So with my dozer, I'm building up another Gatling cannon. I did build up 3 bunker scaffolds as well to bait out those Comanches and Aurora bombers, making it safer for my dozer to reinforce that defense as well. Now I wasn't 100% sure what to do at this point, so I ended up building another Gatling cannon off to the left. Now here's the thing, right? I've still got my oil derricks and they're kind of unguarded right now. So, I mean, what I think I should have done in this moment was actually build up Gatling cannons near the oil derricks, because the Chinook sneak attack that Alexander does to the north of the resource pile can still actually affect me here. Now, at the moment, I did get the artillery platform, and I've moved my rocket troopers next to it as well, and I was able to bait out the next particle cannon. So since it's 3 particle cannons, 1 will go for barracks and the other 2 will go for the power plant, and I've got 6 Gatling cannon scaffolds to bait out the next A10 strike. So we were able to get through that pretty well. So my concern here came true. And yeah, I've lost my oil derricks pretty much. If I just built the Gatling cannon near the oil derricks, then this wouldn't have happened. But yeah, I just hadn't you know, thought of that plan at that given moment. So not protecting my oil derricks has cost me here. I've got one rocket trooper to try and deal with the threat, but yeah, I just don't have the firepower to deal with all of those rangers and missile defenders here. Now this was a little bit too little too late, but I ended up popping out with my dozer here, and because tunnel networks as General Leang build very fast, I was able to build up a tunnel network, but yeah, it was too late. Had I thought of it sooner, I might have had a chance at trying to spare one of my oil derricks, but yeah, we lost them both, unfortunately. But we were able to pick off these enemy infantry, and now we can just move on to the next stage of the game. So I decided to play on. I thought to myself, well, I've got 19 grand to my name, so surely I should be able to recover from this mistake of mine. So I pop out with my dozer, and I'm thinking, okay, well, the only other way to actually make money right now is the supply areas. So we can move our dozer to the north where the artillery platform is, and we can build up another supply center, and then we can gather the resources twice as fast. So before I focus on actually building up a supply center, I decided to actually build up a lot of defense. So at this moment, I don't exactly need to gather the resources from this other supply area because we have that much money already. So I figured what's better here is actually building up power plants and building up base defenses at this section, so then we can actually pick off Alexander's Aurora bombers much more easily. Thing is, right now, she's not actually attacking me with those bombers, so this is a good chance for me to actually just set up the defense and then find the trigger for her to actually attack my base, and then I'll be able to rank up much more easily as well. Now, with my rangers, I popped out of the tunnel network, and I decided to do a little bit of scouting. I separated those guys just in case, because I don't want both of these guys taking damage at the same time. So we got a couple of Comanches hovering near the particle cannon, and I decided that this was actually not a good spot here to actually push, so I decided to retreat. I don't want those Comanches getting in the way, and I need the Comanches to either move or attack me, and then I can focus on pushing to the right and then dealing with the Patriot, maybe capturing the other oil derrick if we can, and then maybe going for the other particle cannon too. So next thing I want to do is I actually want to build an airfield. So right now, Alexander's not attacking me, so the only way to actually get through to Alexander is with super weapons. So with General Leang, the only way to get super weapons is to build an airfield and a war factory, so we don't need a propaganda center this time around. Now, with my ranger, I was able to push and get to the oil derrick over here. So plan was to capture the oil derrick, let that be a meat shield for the Patriot, and then take out the Patriot with those infantry there. So building up a Scud Storm as well, and setting up all my bait for the A-10 strike and the particle cannons. Now, whilst that was going on, I wasn't really paying attention to my oil derrick that I captured and the infantry, so I did lose all of those guys. I did lose the oil derrick too, but we are still sitting on 16 grand. So we are still doing pretty well money-wise, and the thing is, with the Scud Storm, we can potentially rank up to rank 3, and with General Leang, she does have access to cash bounty too, so if we do need the extra cash, then we could go for the bounty instead of the artillery barrage as well. So at this point, I thought about building up another Scud Storm here, but then I thought to myself, you know what? We need to actually protect this area against any future Chinook strikes that Alexander sends my way. So I ended up building up a tunnel network because I thought, okay, well, that's going to build up very quick. So I'll at least have something to protect me against any Chinooks that touch down in that section too. Now, speaking of Chinooks, there was another one that went for my other Scud Storm. I've got one tunnel network that's still within range. The other two can't because the Scud Storm is blocking the way here. I got two rocket troops that were inside the tunnel, so I pop out and I try and take out all of those infantry as well as the sentry drones. So we took some damage to our Scud Storm, but it wasn't too bad. So if we do get hit again by another Chinook sneak attack, we're covered. We've got the infantry, we've got the tunnel that could potentially deal with the threat. So as I mentioned before, because Alexander's not really attacking me all that much, I have to attack her with the Scud Storms in order to actually get the general points. But with that said, she did attack me with a few Comanches in this spot, and I was able to get a rank up here, and that is rank 3. So with my rank 3 general points, I decided to go for level 2 artillery barrage, and I also did get level 1 cash bounty just in case I need the extra cash going forward as well. And with the Scud Storms, you will get the cash bounty off whatever units you destroy. Now with level 2 barrage, I went for her supply center, so level 2 barrage is going to be enough to destroy that. Now destroying the supply center means that when you destroy the airfield and war factory, she will not be able to rebuild those, so naturally I'll do that, and she won't be able to use any more Comanches and Aurora bombers against me. And with 2 Scud Storms, it shouldn't take me too long to get to rank 4 and rank 5 once we launch those 2. So all round, we're doing a good job here. Now next set of particle cannons are coming, so I do need to set up my bait. But all of a sudden we get another Chinook, so that was actually kind of a quick Chinook compared to the one before. I mean, it didn't take all that long between both of those Chinooks to show up here. So with that done, we've got our tunnel, we've got our rocket troops to defend the area. I know it's possible to defend ourselves, but yeah, it did take quite a while to deal with the threat. We got our scaffold set up, we cancelled out, so baited out the particle cannons. We got 6 Gatling cannon scaffolds, so we're going to cancel those out as well, and then we've just baited out another A10 strike, and now all we have to do is just wait. Alrighty, so our Scud Storm is ready to go here, and naturally I'm going to go for the airfield. So going for the airfield, we take out the bombers, take out the Comanches, no more of that. Now the only things that Alexander's got left to use against me would be her particle cannons, her A10 strikes, her Chinook sneak attacks, and I think that would be about it. So by this point it's sort of like easy street. We just got to keep building up our super weapons and general powers, and then we just slowly but surely wipe her out that way. If I was allowed to build more units, then I could actually, you know, finish her off even faster, depending on what units I've got access to, if I was to loosen those restrictions. But I'll just go for a 3rd Scud Storm, and we'll bait out the next set of particle cannon strikes and A10 strikes too. So because I got rank 4, I decided to go for level 3 artillery barrage, and I decided to combo that with my Scud Storm to go for Alexander's command center as well. Now I'm just trying to time it out right, that way I'm guaranteed to destroy that command center. I know that the Scud Storm that I'm using as General Leang is going to be a little bit weaker compared to other GLA generals because I don't have any toxin upgrades available to me, but that's going to be okay. We took out the command center. Now dozers are going to be nearby, so they did take a little bit of damage, and with the command center for General Alexander, it will not be rebuilt. So Alexander doesn't rebuild her command center even if she has dozers in play. So all I have to do is make sure I take out the dozers to prevent her from rebuilding the things that she does rebuild, like her power plants. So right now I'm just going to focus on gathering resources, so then I can actually build up more super weapons to really speed this thing along. Now we're pretty much guaranteed the win. We just need to get through each of her buildings one by one. So because we got rank 5, I chose to go for sneak attack, EMP and carpet bomb with my general points. So with the EMP and carpet bomb, they're not going to be all that useful right now. I got them more so for like cleanup, so when Alexander's power goes down, I could use carpet bombs on like remaining power plants, things of that nature. Now I did go for Scud Storm in the middle where the power plants and Patriots are. It's also going to affect those 2 remaining dozers, so Alexander won't be able to rebuild anything else now. And also with the sneak attack that I got the sneak attack for 2 reasons. One, there's still one more oil derrick on this map, so we could capture that oil derrick and then get some more money, so then we can build up more super weapons to really speed this along. The other reason is with the sneak attack, we could use it inside Alexander's base in those areas where she doesn't have any Patriots or artillery platforms to take it down, and then I could use a combination of Rangers and rocket troopers to attack, you know, remaining buildings inside Alexander's base, so there is that as well. So once again, we've baited out the particle cannons. I did forget that I had a supply center a little bit further north, so I did end up losing that to one of the particle cannons, but that's of no real consequence. We'll just rebuild that and continue gathering resources. Now, with our dozer, I'm going to move down and build up another Scud Storm. Again, just speeding up the process. I use my Carpet Bomb where the Avenger is, and I use my Sneak Attack where the last oil derrick is to capture that, building up more money in case we want more super weapons. So at this point, we're sort of just trying to kill time and a little bit of screwing around as well. So now we've got 4 Scud Storms, and I decided to change it up a little bit. It's like we already know that we've won, and I decided to build up a nuke next. So I know that Scud Storm is going to be the best super weapon in this case because it's not going to take any power here, but I wanted to have at least one of every super weapon get the full Leang effect of the battle. So that's the only reason why I'm building one of each. Now I use my Scud Storm on the 2 power plants and the strategy center, so it's going to take out the power plants. It won't take out the strategy center completely, but I still do have a Carpet Bomb that's ready to go. So I decided to use the Carpet Bomb on the strategy center. The power's down, so there shouldn't be much anti-air in the area anyway. And I use my EMP where the War Factory and Avengers are. And then I decided to use my Sneak Attack after all, where the Patriots and artillery platforms are. And then I've got units inside the tunnel, so this is just me, again, just screwing around, and you know, maybe I'll destroy a few Avengers before the next batch of super weapons are ready. So that's all I was doing. Okay, so while we wait on our super weapons to be ready again to finish this off, let me just take a minute to shout out our members. Reneva Straighten, who's a Cry Cadet, and Just Eddie 69, who is a Cry Captain. So these guys have access to member suggestions, so they'll suggest ideas for me to turn into videos, which I'll be fast tracking as well. I'm not taking any more viewer suggested ideas anymore. It's just a members thing. So if you wish to become a member, I'll leave a link in the description below. No pressure if you don't. You don't have to if you don't want to. And with that being said, this is how I did General Leang versus General Alexander without building any units. So if you enjoyed this one, leave a like, comment, subscribe. I do have a playlist if you're going to check out any of my other content. Merry Christmas, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.
We are victorious.